I'm pissed. I know that you are scared. You're concerned about your grandkids, your kids, everybody in your family, because Marjorie Taylor Greene has left us. Marjorie Taylor Greene does not want to represent you anymore. Marjorie Taylor Greene simply wants to get rich off the back of each and every last one of them. In this last election, I received more votes than any other Democrat since 2012 right here in Northwest Georgia in this district. Democrats, independents, and common sense Republicans all came together under what we call Leadership Matters, and we scared Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now Marjorie Taylor Greene is in a civil war with the Republican Party, and they have even told her, we don't want you anymore. With us all working together, we can beat her. Whatever you can do, do it. Wherever you at, send out postcards, knock on doors, encourage people to get registered to vote. Since the last election, I've been at the protest for our veterans. I've been protesting for immigration up in Dalton. I've been all over this state fighting for you. Just like I told my soldiers when we were running around in Afghanistan, I will be with you every step of the way. You would never have to worry that I will abandon you. Let's go out here and do everything that we have to do to win this election for everyone. I'm talking about farmers. I'm talking about veterans. I'm talking about educators. I'm talking about senior citizens, so that we can beat Marjorie Taylor Greene. And let's go do it. I look forward to seeing you out there. Hey guys, how you doing? You would never have thought. This is the real Shawn Harris. We're live. I told you I was going to go live tonight. I want to thank everybody. Look like on one of the platforms that I'm on. I will tell you. 1 second. One of the platforms that I'm on. Right now, I'm on 4 or 5 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, I think Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads. But guess what? I'm talking directly to you tonight, and I want you to talk directly to me. When I made that video or commercial a few months back, I had no idea that Marjorie Taylor Greene would be completely leaving Congress here in January. Guess what? Everything in that video came true. Yes, she was already thinking about leaving the people here in Northwest Georgia, leaving the people here in Georgia because things got tough. And why did they get tough? It wasn't because of Donald Trump. It was because of all the people here in Northwest Georgia calling her on the phone saying, hey, Marjorie, what are you doing about health care? Hey, Marjorie, what are you doing about affordability? When I go to the grocery store, things are high. And guess what? Marjorie started changing her tune. She tried to come back to the center where I actually am currently at every day. And Donald Trump said, hell no, you're not going to do that. You need to come back over here where we're at. And if you're not going to come back over here with us, I'm going to say bad things about you. Let me stop right there and say right here, what Donald Trump did to Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her a traitor, and from that, people starting to threaten her and her family's lives, that is wrong. I do not condone that at all. So I'm happy to say that Marjorie, hopefully now those threats are going to stop and she can go on and do whatever she want to do with her life. And now she has given the people here in Northwest Georgia, she's given the people here in Georgia, and I'll even go a step further. She's given the people here in the United States an opportunity to get a real leader that care about people, not focus on himself, to go to Congress and fight for the people here in Northwest Georgia. One of the things I want to do tonight, I plan to talk for roughly about an hour. If you want to send in a question, please type it in. My team behind the scenes, they will put something up on the screen for me, and I'll try my best to answer your question. Everything that we doing tonight is live. I have no clue if we're going to have some craziness that happen, guess what? That's okay. One of the things, if you live right here in Northwest Georgia, you would know I have been in this race now for roughly about 150 days. Since that particular time, we have been laser focused on kitchen table issues, the things that you sit around your table and discuss and say, how can we get better? On top of that, my opponent, or used to be my opponent, she did a town hall that I think many of you would actually remember, where she actually had people tased and arrested. What I've been doing here for the last 4 or 5 months, every month, is 10 counties here in what we call Northwest Georgia, the 14th district. I've been going to every county and having town halls and answering the people's questions directly. And when I say answer the people's questions directly, we advertise it. We invite everybody out. And when I say everybody, I'm talking about Democrats, Republicans, common sense Republicans, and independents. Everybody is welcome. They get to ask their question. I have no idea what the question is going to be. And we answer the question and we go on with our lives. That is the way things are supposed to be. We don't have to agree on everything, but we should be able to have a civil conversation. And we're going to continue to do that now, because here in the very near future, I fully expect our Governor Kemp, to come up on the net and say, okay, with Marjorie deciding to quit, now I need to come out and make an announcement on when will a special election actually happen. I had some people today. I did two or three campaign events. One was actually in Rome, Georgia, at the Collard Green Festival. If anybody's on from Rome, outstanding job today. The Collard Greens were outstanding. I was one of the judges, so I don't have to eat dinner tonight because I ate a lot of collard greens today. And then on top of that, I had the opportunity to come back here to Rockmart in my hometown, and I sat down with some incredible leaders from West Cobb. They drove over, and we sat down and had a discussion on what can they do to help my campaign. So all of those things, I tell you that this story is because we are still going on with our plan. What do I mean by going on with our plan? I want to make sure that you have direct contact with me. And when I say direct contact with me, hey, I'm talking about not only my district, I'm talking about Georgia, and I'm talking about the United States. Because in order for us to win, I need for you and your family and your friends to give a little bit to my campaign. What you need to just do, if you have it, just go to Shawn for Georgia, and at the bottom of that, you'll see the donate link. I'm not asking you to give me $20,000. No. I pride myself is that we make this campaign work off small donations. My team tell me right now we're roughly somewhere between $19 and 37 cents. I'm proud of that. As you can see there on the screen, that's where you go. And please, if you can give, if you can continue to give, because in order for me to win this election now, I went from running against one Republican. Here in the near future, you're going to see where 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, maybe 12 Republicans may jump into this race to try to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene. I want to convey to you, I have absolutely no fear. I want to make sure that you have absolutely no fear, because at the end of the day, they can bring them all on and we will be able to beat them. Just like that earlier commercial said, we as working together, we can beat this Republican Party, because one thing I can guarantee you is this: whoever Donald Trump endorses will be as extreme or worse than Marjorie Taylor Greene. They will not be a Republican that's in the center. So I'm speaking right now directly to common sense Republicans. At some point, we have to say, when are we going to get some economic opportunities here in Northwest Georgia? because Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't bring none of them. I want to bring those generational jobs here. I want to make sure that we on the cutting edge of whatever's happening next in the next 30 years in this country. Oh, I see a question that just popped up here. Shawn, highlight the ground and win to your back. Oh, thank you very much. I will tell you, we have a ground game that is incredible. One of the things I've been asking people to do in the last couple of days, we were doing it before, but especially now, go to my website, go on there. You're going to see where it says that you can volunteer. And when I say volunteer, we're building what I call Leadership Matters Army. Leadership Matters Army or Leadership Matters Team. At the end of the day, what I want you to do, I don't care if you live in Georgia, California, New York, wherever you live, I want you to sign up because we can have you doing phone banking from wherever you're at. We can have you actually do postcards and send to a lot of our people in the district. Because guess what? We got to keep in mind that everybody's not on social media. We still have a large percent of voters that actually come out and vote that they still want to get something in the mail. So if you can sign up and say, hey, Shawn, I'm in California or I'm in Alabama or I'm down in Florida, we want to do a postcard campaign for you. Please go online, sign up, let my team know. It's at the very bottom, you'll see where it says Renee. Reach out to Renee and we can make that happen, because one of the things I think everybody needs to understand is that we were planning to have a race in November of 2026. Now we will probably have a race somewhere in February. So you think about that. Here we are, we're 1 week before Thanksgiving. Then we're going to get out of Thanksgiving break. They'll go back to Congress and you'll blink your eyes and they'll be right back home again for the holidays. And then Marjorie would go back to Congress roughly on the 3rd or 4th of January. And she has already announced that her last day is January 5th. What I've been told by my team is this, is that on January 5th, from January 5th to 10th or 11th, we're in there, that is when, by that time, the governor needs to make an official announcement and say that we're going to have a special election. I currently believe that Governor Kemp is going to say something before that, but I don't control it. What I need to do is continue to bring the fight to our Republican counterparts. And on the flip side of the coin, I need to make sure that we got our ground game together. I need to make sure that we got our signs out in the yards. I need to make sure that I'm speaking to everyone. So if you are somewhere here in my district and you need me to come and speak to a large group or small group, I don't care how big, the answer is yes. Today, I think I have spoke to 3 different news organizations. I think I started the morning off this morning where I was speaking to, I think it's News Nation. It's like a new thing, kind of like Fox News. They were super nice to me, but we did it. And then on top of that, I had another interview today for the people in Atlanta. I think it's Atlanta First. I watch them early in the morning. Their weather's great, but I did an interview with them. The cool thing about those guys, they drove right here to my hometown here in Rockmart, and we did the interview right here on the ground. And that should be airing sometime tonight. And right before I got on with y'all guys, I did another interview with Fox News. But when I say Fox News, I'm talking about Fox News there in Atlanta. So all of those things will be coming out. I ask you, when we post them or you see them, share them with everybody, because we're trying to get the word out. Says, I'm in Florida and I'm pulling for you. Thank you. You know, when I was a kid, I used to live in a place called Ocala, Florida, and I loved it down there. We used to pick. My family, we had a cattle farm, and then we also had watermelons, and I used to love going out picking the watermelons. But guess what? That's in the past. Now I live up here in Georgia, and I'm looking forward to being your congressman, your somebody that you can point to and say, wait a minute, Shawn Harris is a good person. Shawn Harris is a hard worker. Shawn Harris is somebody that's never going to embarrass Northwest Georgia. I would tell you when I say that, if you've been here in Northwest Georgia and been to any of my town halls, I say to the group, the bar is low. And the reason why it's low, because if you live in Northwest Georgia and you went on vacation, you would kind of be embarrassed to say where you were from. And the reason why is because if you said you was from Northwest Georgia or Rome or Rockmart or Dallas, Georgia, or anything like that, somebody may say to you, oh my goodness, are you from Marjorie Taylor Greene's district? And if that's when the embarrassment would come. What I would promise you, I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. and work hard for you every day. We're going to get things done. I'm a results I'm a results person. And on top of all the results, you will never be embarrassed to say, yes, Shawn Harris is my representative. He's classy, he's respectful, he gets things done. And that's what Northwest Georgia is all about. And let me just tell you a couple of things that I'll be working on. One, we have to get the price of grocery down. We have to get things being back affordable. We have to make sure now, when I get there, that I got to make sure that the health care benefits are given back to the people. Because right now, some of my Republican counterparts, and the reason why I say some of my Republican counterparts is because many of the Republicans now are starting to understand that if the ACA goes away, they got a big, big problem. So I got a funny feeling that some of the Republicans that you just saw separate themselves away from President Trump, they're going to do it again here come in January, on January 30th. And I believe, my gut tells me, that is why Marjorie picked the 5th of January, is because she don't want to be there and have to vote on things that she now says that she supports. What I would submit to you, don't listen to a politician's words. Go and follow a politician's actions. See how him or her actually vote. And that's what I want y'all guys to do for me. Hold me accountable. I see right there says, Georgia, this guy seems like he's a fighter. Well, let me tell you something. Hell yeah, I'm a fighter. I don't know where to point, but that's me. That's me in Afghanistan. That is 100% me. And if you look at that thing up there, that's the 82nd Airborne and the Screaming Eagles. So what I would tell you, I've led men and women in Afghanistan, had the opportunity to lead men in Liberia during the Ebola time, and I had the opportunity to lead men and women in a place called Israel a few years back. I'm not trying to toot my horn in any kind of way, because it was my soldiers that did the awesome job. I was just honored to be able to lead them, but I bring that same spirit. I bring that same leadership. I bring that same leadership style where it's not about me, it's about you and everybody else that we're trying to represent. And oh, by the way, as Democrats, we love to say we want to fight. Well, guess what? That's all I've been doing all my adult life. That's where you've been sending me all my adult life. And now I'm back here on the farm, but I still got it in me. And we're going to fight all the way. And I'm asking you to join my team. I'm asking you to donate to my team. I'm asking you to join my team as a volunteer. I'm asking you here in the district to come and knock on doors with me. And when I say knock on doors with me, I'm not going to be sitting in my basement talking to you on some TikTok. Hell no. I'm going to be out there with you, knocking on doors, making it happen. Because guess what? When I say leadership matters, leaders lead from the front. That's what I do. I lead from the front. And that's what I want to make sure that Northwest Georgia understands, that Shawn Harris is going to fight for them every day. Because guess what? Here in Georgia, our number one industry in Georgia is agriculture. We're in the hurt locker right now, boys and girls, in the world of the world of agriculture. You know that China's playing games with us. You know that the soybeans are, we saying they're being sold, but we still got some issues. You know that we have given Argentina $40 billion, but we can't figure out how can we feed our children. We know that we got all these different things going on. I want you to know that when I get to Congress and we're voting on the farm bill, I want you to know that I will be the one that stands up, knock on the door, and say, guys, we can't leave until we pass the farm bill. Why do I say that? And let me break it down for you just real quick. When we say the farm bill, most people think that the farm bill is really talking about farmers. I think it's pretty cool that they gave the title the farm bill. But when you break the farm bill down, I think it's like a 60-40 split. 60% of the money that's actually in the farm bill covers SNAP. It feeds our seniors and it feeds our less fortunate children. And then the rest of it goes to the farmers. At the end of the day, the farm bill that we have that's up right now is from 2018. It is not keeping up with inflation. And I'm so happy that we finally got our heads out of our butt and we actually got the SNAP program back up and going. Here in Georgia, I think either by Monday or Tuesday, everybody will actually have their SNAP and be able to feed their kids for Thanksgiving. So I got a question here. Let me look at it real quick. Question, Facebook, Donna. As a conservative Republican, why should I vote for you versus someone else, sir? Hey, I love that question. And the reason why you should vote for me as a conservative Republican is this simple reason. Is because I am a Democrat that is in the center. Let me tell you a little story. When I got out of the military and bought this farm here and we started building fences and trying to put cattle here and all those kind of things, it was my fellow neighbors and friends and veterans that came here and helped me put up the very first fence. If you go to my campaign page from the last time when we first got started, you will see I made that very first commercial when I said my name is Shawn Harris. I'm standing right beside a fence post, but there's no fence on it. That is the exact area that my friends that were other veterans said, Shawn, you still got too much energy in you, man. You need to run for Congress. And that was cool. But guess what else they said to me? You need to be a Republican and we can get you elected. I told them right out there in that pasture, I said, guys, I got to be true to you. And I'm be honest with you, I had that same kind of conversation today with some other Republicans. If I just changed my party and said that I was going to be a Republican, then guess what? Shawn Harris is a liar to you. We start a relationship based on a lie. That's not how my mom raised me. What I can tell you is this: Shawn Harris will vote in what is best for the people here in Northwest Georgia. I'm not going to say I'm going to be tied to the Democrats. I'm not going to be tied to Republicans. I'm going to vote for what's best here. And I ask not only Democrats, but independents and common sense Republicans like you, sir or ma'am, hold me accountable. Call me out on it. But you won't have to, because you'll say, you know what? That's a man of his word, because I'm in the leadership business and I want to make sure, because I believe everybody here in the 14th and Northwest Georgia has been sold a bill of goods. Bottom line, everybody says we're going to do great things for you, but then nothing actually happens. We'll get to y'all guys next year. Well, guess what? The next year is now going to be in February. So I ask you, sir, hold me accountable. What I've been actually saying to my Republican friends is this: we got an election coming up. You know what you've been getting with Marjorie and the rest of the Republicans, which is absolutely nothing. Try me. Because guess what? if I don't do my job, it's enough Republicans to vote me out. I think that is a very powerful tool. But suppose you actually get a real leader up there and I get real things done, then I think you'll say, you know what? I'm glad that guy's a Democrat, but I'm also proud that he's working for me and he understands economics. He understands bringing business here. He understands how finance work. He understands how making and keeping America great and what that really means. That is why common sense Republicans should vote for me. And at the same time, my Democratic brothers and sisters, they know that I'm going to fight for everything that we need out here for the little guy that's left behind. Because in my district, it's ruby red. But the majority of the people that are voting red are the ones that actually need certain things. In our district, I'm so proud that we actually got the snap coming, because in my district, it was 141,000 people was on SNAP or currently on SNAP. What concerns me is I'm glad we got them the money, but now the Secretary of Agriculture says they got to re-up again to try to continue to get the money. My concern with that is, Secretary of Agriculture, do you have enough people actually working in your office that 141,000 people just in this part of Georgia can actually come in there and get their stuff real signed? Because my understanding, they have to do it every 6 months or every year anyway. Why are we doing these kind of things? So again, thank you for that question, sir. Ma'am, if you live in the district, please come to one of my town halls. I think my next town hall is up in Murray County next month. I look forward to seeing everybody there. And just like I didn't shy away from your question, I won't shy away from it when we stand in face to face. And then on top of that, if you want to follow up with me on something else, we can have coffee. That's not a problem. I love coffee. So let me keep going. Do I have any more questions out there? Hey guys, I'm gonna answer your question, and I know I'm live, but guess what? I told somebody early this morning, no matter what time he called me, his mom wanted to say hi to me. So it's my show. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna answer this call because guess what? This is a voter that his mom wanted to talk to me. So you're gonna get to hear it too. Here we go. This was not planned, guys. Alex, how you doing? How you doing, man? Look, I got you on Facebook, all kind of stuff live. I think it's 3,000 people listening to me right now. Is your mom around? Yeah, so mom. Let me say hi to her. Shawn Harris, he's running for Congress. Against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie showed me a turnabout, didn't she? Yes, ma'am. I just wanted. People running, it was real, she just pretending, but then she walked away from it. It's for real, I guess. So anyway. Ma'am, I just wanted your son called me early this morning and told me that you wanted to talk to me. And I said, you know what? No matter when y'all call, I'm going to take the call right now. I'm live on you name the station. I'm live doing it. I think it's 3,000 people watching me right now. So they can hear you and I talk, and tell them hi. Well, y'all. Ma'am, I just want to tell you, I love you. Thank you. There you go. Look, at the end of the day, the way we're going to. She's a long-time Democratic supporter, Shawn. Thank you. Thank you. Keep it friends close and see what happens. Because I tell you, the Democrats did well in the last election. So anyway, let's keep. Yeah, because that man is really messing up. You know that, right? Yes, ma'am. Well, ma'am, he's destroying America. We are not America anymore if he stays in there. Yes, ma'am. So I just want to say thank you. please keep me in your prayers, and I'm gonna hop off the phone.
Well, I sure will pray for you and hope things work out for you. Okay?
All right, thank you. Now appreciate you.
All right, brother.
All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.
Take care, buddy. Yeah, bye.
All right, you can't make that up, guys. Hey, I'm a real guy. That's what I am. At the end of the day, this morning, I think 4:35, something like that. Alex called me and was like, "Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene got out of the race. Man, my mom really wants to talk to you." And I said, "Alex, okay, I don't care what I am doing today." I told him, "I don't care. If you call me and I see it, I'm going to stop and answer the phone." So thank y'all guys for allowing me to stop and answer the phone, because guess what? In Georgia, that's the same way I'm going to be when you call me and say, "Hey, Shawn, I need to talk to you." I'm going to stop, because the most important thing is you, not me. I think I saw a question pop up. Somebody was asking me something from Cedartown. Did I see that, or did I miss it? Do we still have that question? Let me see. It says, "I'm in Cedartown, local living." Oh, I'm in Cedartown, locally living in San Francisco. I love to support you. The ground game and policy platform. I'm around the corner 3 weeks. I want to knock on doors. All right. Well, hey, anybody who knows where Cedartown's at, guess what? Just go right there on the screen and get in touch with Renee. Let them know that when you're going to be in town, and we can go out and start knocking on some doors and getting some people out and get them ready to vote. So thank you for that. Cedartown's a beautiful area. Rockmart's a beautiful area. Polk County is beautiful. We got professional baseball players. We got professional football players from here. We just got great people from here. And I'm just proud that y'all guys allowed me to be able to buy a farm here in Polk County and become a cattleman and try to make and feed America here. So was it any other questions that I needed to answer? Or if not, I'll talk about a couple more things. Okay. What is your vision for rebuilding the economy in Northwest Georgia? These are awesome questions. Outstanding. Let me take you through how I plan to rebuild the economy. Right now, we have a couple of things that are happening in Northwest Georgia real time. And I think that's the reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene stepped out of the game, because it's starting to get real ugly real soon. One, as y'all guys know, down in Southwest Georgia, down around Savannah, we actually had the Hyundai dealership that's owned by South Korea. People were arrested. The spinoff of that, now we're starting to see a couple of our companies up here, Q-Cell and a couple other things, have announced that they are starting to lay some people off, and they're also having some issues with the tariffs, trying to get things in. Those companies are owned at this point by South Korea. I think South Korea is starting to play some games with us. So what is Shawn Harris going to do? One, I am going to go back and rebuild the relationships at the state level, but rebuild it at my level to ensure that all the companies that we have here in Northwest Georgia, they know they have a champion there, so they can bring their people here. On top of that, our people can come in, get trained, have a great job, and be able to feed their families. In addition to that, what I talk about is what I call generational jobs. We're close to Huntsville, Alabama. We have people who get up and go and work in Huntsville all week, and then they come back here. They're not in the Army. They should not be going like they're going on deployment. I'm going to work. I want to work with our friends over in Alabama, our friends around the country, and I want to bring some of the Defense Space Force assets into our district. And when I say that, I'm not saying that we're going to be building the next space shuttle. We might just be building a nut. That's it. That's all we're building. But guess what? That one nut is what I call a generational job. That means when we bring it here, not only will you be able to work there, but your kid and your grandkid in the future will be able to work there. And what I mean by that, we will give you a livable wage. That means that you will be able to go out and buy a house. That means that you don't have to be being worried about getting laid off, because we will make sure that labor and everything is built into that plan to ensure that everything's going to be in place for you. As I said, I spent many years in the military. You just heard the other day on the news is that the United States is trying to go to Mars. Before you can get to Mars, you got to get back to the moon. You got to get on the moon with a nuclear reactor, and then after that, somebody's going to leave and go to Mars. And when those people go to Mars, I would tell you point blank, they are never coming back. They're going to have to take some time to get there, and when they get there, they're going to do great things for us. I want to make sure that that's what we call over the horizon type planning. I want to make sure that Northwest Georgia is part of that solution. That is the type of job that I want to bring here to Northwest Georgia. We got enough McDonald's. I don't have a problem with McDonald's, but we got enough McDonald's. I need to make sure I'm bringing some jobs in here that you will be able to send your kids to school. You'll be able to ensure that when your kids get an outstanding degree, they can come back home and raise a family. Right now, when you get an engineering degree from Georgia Tech or wherever, I'm not 100% sure can you come back here to our small towns and make a living with your degree. So that's how I'm going to put things in place to ensure that we have opportunities. Now, for my friends that live in small towns like me, I don't want to do anything that's going to destroy our small town mentality. So I'm not going to be trying to change Northwest Georgia and bring in all these sky rides and all those kind of things. No, what I want to do is make sure that you and your kids have an opportunity that you can actually feed your family. And when I say feed your family, I'm talking about a livable wage. I'm talking about a wage that you don't have to go out and become the Uber driver. There's nothing wrong with being the Uber driver. But when you live in a small town like me and many of our towns in this district, um, you don't have that many Uber drivers. So most people work on a farm. If they don't work on a farm, they work for the public school system. We have to pay our school teachers more. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. We have to, one, respect that their degrees are real. I'm not going to touch all that tonight, but that is a hot issue with me, because if you know anything about my background, in a different life, I was a middle school teacher, believe it or not. That's when I had hair. That's probably why I don't have any hair now. But I was a middle school teacher, love those kids. But then on top of that, I became a principal. So I understand the struggles that are actually happening inside of our school system. I understand what is going on inside the classroom. I understand when the Department of Education says that they are cutting out special needs programs. Guess what? They just are in the process of cutting out special ed for our most needy kids, but they also cutting out the gifted program for some of our kids that are so smart that they should be in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, and they're only 10 years old. Those two extreme programs are going away, and we got to stop this. So I know that wasn't the question, but I wanted to touch on that because so many things that are going on in Congress. This is why we need somebody that not only understands foreign policy, but also understands what happens here in the country, and then also understand that, hey, it was a time in my life that I used to benefit from SNAP. Yeah. And if I didn't get the SNAP and get that little sandwich they used to give us in the summertime and a little apple and a juice, then maybe I never would have became Brigadier General Shawn Harris. And when I say became Brigadier General Shawn Harris, the most piece that I'm most important, I mean, proud of, is before I was all of that, I started off in this place called the United States Marine Corps, Paris Island, 1984. And I was just like everybody else, got yelled at pretty good, and got off that bus and got on those little yellow footprints and earned my right to call myself a Marine. I want to make sure that every kid out there has the opportunity to do whatever they dream to be, they can actually do it. And if they're not getting a quality meal 3 times a day, it's going to be very hard for them to compete. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure that everybody's getting a good quality education. So I got a lot of things that I got to get done very quickly. Do I have a pet? Yes, I got a pet. My dog is named Maximus. That guy is he's a little pincher guy. I'm not sure if my team got a picture of him. I don't think so. But then I have some other pets, but they not pets. I raise cattle, red Angus for a living. Just this past week or earlier this week has been a crazy week. I think we just had a calf. If my team can maybe pull up either the picture, there we go. I got the look. Let's stop, guys. I got the best team in the world behind me. And when I just said they can do it, everything we doing tonight is live. But that calf right there that you see with the little earrings on his ears, that guy was born like 3 days ago. And I actually went out there, checked him as a little boy, little bull calf. That's his mother standing there in the background. She's a great mother. She's very friendly. She allowed me to put his little earrings on. And his father is a Wagyu bull. So that's a black Angus with now a mixed calf of Wagyu. And we're going to see what we can do in the future if we decide to start selling meat. And that guy right there just got to our farm 2 days ago. If I remember correct, we bought down in Alabama. That's a red Angus heifer. She should be having a calf here in about the next 35, 40 days. So we just started our farm. And when I say we started 2.5 years ago when I first got out of the military. Been working hard every day. And I think that's why people here in Northwest Georgia know me personally, because they see me outside working. I'm not just riding around talking. I'm actually working every day. They actually see me going to Tractor Supply and buying different things. And on top of that, they see me just out and about. And I try to be a person that you can just walk up to and have a great conversation on any particular subject. And it doesn't always have to be politics. Matter of fact, most times I don't want it to be politics because I just want to get to know people. Because I think if you get to know people, you can then help them and they trust you to be able to help solve some of their problems. You can't solve them all, but at least you can start a conversation. So I thank you for that question. I think I've been talking. I'm trying to see. I see that we have roughly about 3,000 people, at least on this platform. I'm not sure on all the rest of the other platforms, because like I said, I would ask you to go to my campaign page. Please donate something. We're going to need this money to win this election here real soon. That as you can see, I think they got the donate thing up there. You can stick your phone up to it, I believe, and it take you directly to the page. But right now, I think, and y'all guys have to let me know, please give me a thumbs up. I think right now I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, and Threads live. I'm not 100% sure if I'm currently on TikTok or not. I was just on TikTok, I think last night, talking. But the intent is to try, excuse me, the intent is to try to be on all of my platforms at the same time. Shelly, if you want something to happen, Shelly is the person that's following me, making sure things happening right over there on YouTube right now. And we're gonna make it happen. So we talked about cows, we talked about generational wealth, we talked about one of the areas I think I need to talk about is affordable housing here in this district. And you might have remembered Marjorie kind of hinted at it, is here in our area, specifically I'll talk Pacifics now, Paulding County, not too far from here. We actually have corporate America It may be happening in your areas around the country, but we have here in our area, corporate America has came in and bought up entire neighborhoods, every house. These are single family homes, bought them all. These are very nice homes starting around 250 and up. When you and your family come to the neighborhood and you're trying to buy a house, no matter what you bid, you cannot outbid corporate America. And guess what? You don't get it. But then when you don't get it, the next thing you know, corporate America puts a sign out in front of it and says house for lease. You get to move in the house and you get to act like you live in the American dream, but you don't reap the benefits of owning a home. I will tell you, when I get to Congress, I will already get there with a bill that we have already written. I don't care if I'm getting there in the end of February or when it's going to happen, but when I get there, the bill will be already written. I'll be prepared as soon as I finish raising my hand and taking my oath to then turn back around and say, okay, I want to read this bill and get your support, because we got to get corporate America out of the housing business, because they're outbidding young people that are trying to reach the American dream. I can't tell you how many young people that I have met that's age 35, 40, whatever, that says, hey, Shawn, man, we can't put enough money together to actually buy a house. And when I say buy a house, I'm not saying they're trying to buy a mansion. They're trying to get a affordable first time starter home, that type deal, in a decent neighborhood, decent school district, all the things that you want to do when you first get started off, but they can't pull it off. And part of the reason why they can't pull it off is because corporate America has came in and bought up all the housing and has now changed the game. I will put a stop to that. Do we have, hey, isn't that pretty cool? Put that back up there. That's Mr. Maximus. Mr. Maximus, he is the nicest guard dog that you're going to get. At the end of the day, he will bark when the Amazon man comes. However, if you open the door and the Amazon man is there, he's the first guy trying to lick the Amazon man's hand. But Maximus is actually from Israel. When we came back, we adopted Maximus when we was over there, and when we came back, we brought him back here with us. So he's living the good life, and he's gonna be here with us forever. So hey, that's pretty cool. Thanks, team, for finding that for me. But that's Mr. Maximus. So I've been talking now about 47 minutes live. I'm gonna go for another roughly about another 10 minutes. I had said that I was gonna talk for an hour. Hey, I see is a blue little dot in owl over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I've been to that area, and I just want to thank y'all guys for what you're doing out there. Keep supporting us. And like you heard me tell Alex and his mom, hey, I'm serious about this. Keep me in your prayers. You know, this thing that we're doing here is not going to be easy. Which congressional do you want to sit on? Which congressional committee I want to sit on? First of all, I would say I'm probably going to have to do something in foreign affairs, something in agriculture. But because I'm a team player, got to keep in mind, I will be the rookie that's coming in. And because of the way Marjorie has kind of quit, I think pretty much anything that Marjorie was sitting on, they probably going to say, hey, Shawn, you need to come on in here and sit down. At the end of the day, wherever they put me, I will make sure that I do my homework. I will make sure that I'm prepared to ask good, hard questions and get to the facts. And I'm prepared to move things along. When I win the second time, then that's when we'll go back and we'll have some follow-on discussions. And I believe the senior leaders will look at my background and say, Shawn, this is the best fit for you. But when I say this is the best fit for me, nothing will take my attention away from the people here in Northwest Georgia. I want the people in Northwest Georgia to understand that, is because I truly believe, based on all this little stuff that you see here behind me, and based on my experience in the Middle East, 9 times out of 10, they're going to put me on some kind of committees that we talk about what's some things that are happening around the world. And yes, I'll have to jump on a plane on some weekends and fly to those particular countries. But I want to make sure that the people here in Northwest Georgia understands, when I'm on those flights and I'm doing those things, that's not like I'm not paying attention to Northwest Georgia. And if I can work to set up some ways with our senators to bring back some kind of industry here, then I'm going to do it. Because at the end of the day, my goal is to set Northwest Georgia up for success for many, 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 many years from now. All right, guys, I'm only going to start closing out. It says here, the Philly State Place. Shawn, hey, is that the Philly State Place up there in Paulding County? Either way, I love y'all guys too. Man, I'm here to tell you, y'all probably looking at football in there, and those Philly guys in there. How can you have a Philly State Place in Georgia, and then they all in there cheering for the Philadelphia Eagles, but they always beat my Cowboys? So hey, let me get ready to close this thing out, because guess what? This has been a great experience for the last 48 hours. I want to make sure that everybody understands that. We got to work hard. We can't just talk about it. We got to have a plan. And I ask you to develop your plan. Don't wait on me to tell you what to do. I need for you to engage. I need for you to get in your small groups and get out there and start getting at it. Don't wait on some governor to tell you when things are going to happen, or wait on me to tell you. You get yourself organized. I see you, Gary. I saw Polk County. That's my county. I love you. Let's get out there. Let's go to work. Let's make this thing happen. Let me just look at this right here. It says, do I have another interview with bye 6 minutes? Nation's interview will be planned on the way out. Okay, my team just said something to me. That's when you know it's live. I'm talking to y'all guys, something that pops up on the screen, and what they're telling me is this: when we get off tonight, and I say thank you, don't just get off. I think they're going to be able to play the interview that I just did this morning with News Nation. And I want y'all guys to see it. To be honest with you, I personally hadn't seen it. I did it, but that was so long ago this morning. It seems like that was 3 days ago. But that's okay, because guess what? In order for us to win this election, we got to do this. And it's something I tell my team, something I told my soldiers. We got to win the day. We got to win the week. We got to win the month. We got to win the year. And then we're going to win the election. But guess what, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? The game has changed. Now we just got to win the week. We got to win the month. And now we just got to win somewhere between February and May. And we are going to Washington, D.C. as your next congressman. And we're going to make sure that we get there and go to work for you every day hard. Again, if you see me anywhere in the United States, if you see me here in the district, stop me. If you see me walking through the airport, stop me. If you see me anywhere, stop me and say, hey, Shawn, I'm with you, brother. And I will give you a high five and keep on going. But at the end of the day, get out there tonight. Get out there tomorrow morning. When you're in church, when you in your synagogue, when you anywhere, start telling people about Shawn Harris. Start telling them how we're going to shock the world, and start telling them, hey, I actually saw a real leader tonight. And if you want me to come back up and do something like this in the future, just let my team know, put it in the chat, and we will do it again. Because again, I want to talk directly to you. I see Hall County support me. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm gonna because I gave you my word and said I was going to talk for 1 hour. I'm not sure if I told you, but that's what I told myself. It's right now I've been talking for 54 minutes and 54 seconds. So guess what? Somebody sending me a question so I can answer this question right before we get off. And then you see what I had to tell those guys on News Nation this morning. I'm looking. Is any got any questions coming? Everybody's saying thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, see right here. We met in the Rock Mart today. Hey, thank you. Great person. Da, 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 da. That is awesome. These are the question that I have here. Can the people see this? I'm not 100% sure. Put it back up there. I said earlier today that I met some outstanding people today here in Rockmart. Right before I actually did a interview with our local news station out of Atlanta. It was awesome to meet the people from West Cobb. West Cobb is new to our district, and I am looking forward to working with everybody in West Cobb, because guess what? You deserve better. And I want to come over there, knock on doors, do some great work, and we're going to shock the world all the way from the time that you come across the Tennessee line into Georgia, all the way down 75, all the way back through Floyd County, all the way through Polk County, all the way through Paulding County, all the way back to West Cobb, 165 miles. We're going to shock the world, and guess what? Everybody's going to say, Northwest Georgia finally got a leader. Northwest Georgia finally got somebody that got some sense. And Northwest Georgia finally is going to be able to get some real things for the people there in Georgia. So again, Dean George, I see. Thank you from Floyd County. I had a great time today over there in Floyd County. Some of the best greens in America. And I look forward to seeing y'all guys tomorrow. Right now, we're at 57 minutes. Keep popping the things up, and I'll keep right on talking. And right now, what I see on my screen is roughly about, at least on this counter that I have, is roughly about 3,500 people that are watching. I'm not sure if it's pulling in all the other places, but either way, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you for what you're doing. I want to say thank you to my Democratic brothers and sisters for standing up. I want to say thank you to the people that actually make the difference in elections. And those are those independent thinkers, those independent voters that actually go both ways. I want to thank you for supporting me. And then I want to thank my brothers and sisters that are common sense Republicans that say, you know what? This Shawn Harris is different. This Shawn Harris is a leader. This Shawn Harris got what it takes. I want to get a little bit of some of that. I see you there, Gordon. I see you, Gordon County. I'm coming that way next week. I got to go over there and look at some cattle also. So I just want to thank y'all guys across the board. Keep me in your prayers. Keep my family in your prayers. We hope and pray that when we get into this hot and heavy special election, that we don't get in a situation where we have crazies that are out there trying to do something. So I'm gonna close it this way. You see my campaign page there. Please go to that page, go to the link, or scan your phone right now. And if you can, give us something. I know right now the economy is tough. Okay, feed your family. Okay, don't go hungry for Shawn. But if you can give something, give it. And then on top of that, if you can't, if you're a person of faith, pray for me, because what we are about to do in the next, let's say 60 to 100 days, is not going to be easy. It's not. But I'm here to tell you, not one day in Afghanistan was easy. Not one day when I was leading troops in Liberia was easy. Not one day when I was the chief of staff in Kosovo was easy. And not one day when I was in Israel was easy. If you Google me, you'll see that probably the highlight of my career is when the president of the United States stepped off the plane in Israel, and I saluted him and was honored to walk with him as we talked to our Israeli counterparts. So I know a little bit about leadership. I know you don't point fingers at people, because when you point fingers at people, it's three more fingers pointing back at you. So you need to always ask yourself as a leader, what are you doing? If you're not doing anything, shut your mouth and go to work. So it has now been 1 hour. Please reach out to Renee. Renee will guide you and put you in the right area. Let's get in the morning, post on your Facebook pages, tag us, that shows what you're doing, how you're getting organized. Let's make this thing happen. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go and close this thing out. Let's play the News Nation interview. And guys, thank you, and thank you again. God bless you.
Well, the surprise announcement of Marjorie Taylor Greene from her House seat is sending shockwaves through the Republican Party. Key in all of this, political power in the House, where one seat can make a difference. Joining us now this morning is Shawn Harris. He's the Democratic candidate running for Greene's seat that will now be open in January. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, and thank you for reaching out to me, and I'm glad to be able to get on your show.
Yeah, curious to get your take, your reaction. Were you as surprised by this news as so many were?
No, I wasn't surprised. I knew, like everybody else, there's a major divorce going between Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I wasn't expecting her last night to say that she was going to quit, but me and my team, we actually were planning for her at some point to drop out of the race and perhaps do something else. As y'all guys know, she's been talking about trying to run for governor or run for the Senate. But again, here in Northwest Georgia, the people are looking for something different, and I'm that guy.
What were the conversations between you and your team when this was announced yesterday?
You know, the reality of it is, when it was announced, my brother was the first one to call me. He keeps up with everything political. And then the next thing you know, my phone just went crazy. And from there, we have been working all night putting things in place, because we have actually been running now for more than 100 days against Marjorie. This is my second time running against her, and we have actually outraised her both of these two quarters. So we've got things in place, and we're ready to make a big difference here in Northwest Georgia for the people.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was, of course, a staunch ally of President Trump's. They've had a pretty public falling out, if you will, over the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. He has now called her a traitor. It's sort of showing some of that fracturing, or some cracks, if you will, in the GOP, or at least in the MAGA party of it. How do you approach that? How do you try and make some ground there with this falling out?
Well, you know, we're sticking with the same plan that I had last time. The bottom line is, for me to win in this Ruby Red district, we got outstanding people. But the way we're going to win it is with Democrats, independents, and common sense Republicans. And we did that in the last election, where 135,000 people voted for me. And now with this split that's actually happening between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump, I believe more people are going to come over to me, because they're actually looking for a leader that's going to get things done. But on top of that, they look for a leader that's going to stop all the chaos and be an adult in the room and get things done for us here in our district.
How do you bridge that divide, though?
The way I've been bridging that divide, I actually go to every zip code here. I go to every little small town. I talk to everyone. And at the end of the day, if you came right here to Rockmart, Georgia, where I live, when I walk in Walmart, people stop me and say, "Hey, Shawn, how you doing? It's so good to see you. Your cows look outstanding." I'm just a regular guy. Yes, I did many years in the military, and yes, I was retired brigadier general. But at the end of the day, I'm just another citizen here in Northwest Georgia that want to make things better for everybody here in Northwest Georgia.
I'm curious, too. Every election, Marjorie Taylor Greene has won by a smaller and smaller margin. In 2020, she won by nearly 50 points. Last year, she only won by 29. What kind of changes are you seeing where you live?
Well, the major changes that we're seeing is, at the end of the day, as you noticed, Marjorie changed her tune. She started talking about affordable housing. She started talking about access to health care. These are the things that I have been talking about. And she finally listened to her daughter a few weeks ago and said health care is too much. When that happened, that's when that major split happened between her and Donald Trump. And you have even heard Donald Trump mention the word affordability. So at the end of the day, what is happening here in the district? We are hurting, and people are looking for a leader that's going to be able to go to D.C., stay focused on us, and bring home results. And that's me, ma'am.
She also acknowledged sort of how harmful the divisive rhetoric on both sides has become. And she, acknowledged that she has dealt with some of the repercussions of that over the weekend before she announced she was going to resign. Your thoughts on the need to sort of turn down the rhetoric?
Yes, you're exactly right. We need to tone it down. And when Trump called her a traitor, Marjorie has been listening to this and being part of this for the last 5-6 years. However, only when it started happening to her is when she actually said, hey, something's wrong with this. I don't want Marjorie or anybody to get hurt, but when you say those type words, it is individuals out here would take it to the next level. And I pray that Marjorie and her security team keeps her safe. And at the same time, I will be a candidate that, let's just talk about the issues. Let's stay focused on what's going to make life better for our people that we're trying to represent. But on top of that, let's get away from all the pointing fingers and especially calling for somebody to be executed or killed or hanged. That is not the rhetoric that we need here in America. And that's not what I served in the military for 40 years to represent.
Okay, Shawn Harris, candidate for Greene's congressional seat. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate your insight this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I look forward to talking to y'all guys again in the future.
Appreciate it.